Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Molly, and I work for the Bureau of Student Wellness at the New Hampshire Department of Education. I'm going to give people just a minute to get the Facebook notification and log in to this afternoon session. I want to remind everybody that you can find our Facebook page at NH Student Wellness. We're on Twitter at NH Schools, and we have a YouTube page that I haven't previously mentioned. It's NH Student Wellness, and we're posting resources there about remote learning. We also have our remote learning website, nhlearnsremotely.com, and you can always share with us what you're doing for remote learning with the hashtag NHLearnsRemotely. So here at the Bureau of Student Wellness, we know people are at home and families are struggling in working through the balance between remote working, remote learning, and trying to find that living, working, finding normalcy balance. So our approach is just to provide these short virtual videos to create an environment for sharing resources and sharing conversations about wellness, and just generally to check in with ourselves and with others. So today's topic of discussion is sense of purpose. What is a sense of purpose? It's essentially the motivation that drives you toward a satisfying future. So it helps you get the most of things that you're doing and achieving large and small right now. Having a strong sense of purpose in times of change can ensure that individuals have a positive outlook on the future. So I'm here with a few tips and tricks to offer support to adults as they're supporting their students in developing and maintaining their students' wellness and their students' sense of purpose. But I encourage you all to share your ideas and resources about developing a sense of purpose in the comments. So the first strategy I have is simply to acknowledge your feelings. Having a conversation with your student, family, friends, about your feelings. Maybe you're feeling hopeful, maybe you're feeling hopeless, maybe you're feeling discouraged. It's not always immediate that you're not having a sense of purpose. Sometimes you're having these other feelings, discouragement, hopelessness. Having this conversation can help you explore what it means to truly have a purpose. Try talking about having what your hopes and dreams are for the future. Another way to develop a sense of purpose is to identify your individual strengths. You can work with your student to make a list of the strengths he or she may have, or you can start the conversation by sharing your own individual strengths. A challenge might be to share some of your challenges that you have and ways that you intend to work on them. You could also try some online quizzes and surveys. There's a Myers-Briggs type indicator test, which identifies personality strengths. This may help launch your conversation, but a word of caution if you plan on using an online survey to find strengths. I highly recommend you personally vet them. Go through the whole survey before you even bring your student into the conversation. Make sure the survey is exactly what you're looking to talk about. And remember that you should be looking for surveys and quizzes from reliable sources. So once you've identified your strengths, your individual strengths, your personality strengths, either through creating a list about them, having a conversation, or the quizzes or surveys, you can explore and align your students' interests with these strengths. So a great challenge is possibly to align what they're doing daily with their remote learning to their strengths and interests. Maybe your student's strength is learning musically and through music, and that's their interest. But their remote learning is multiplication tables. So look for songs about the multiplication tables to see if you can tie in their interests to their daily work and really give them a sense of purpose in what they're doing. Or you can tie it into the bigger picture. Maybe your student knows he or she wants to be a veterinarian when they grow up. So you can look for ways to tie their daily lessons, their English lessons, history lessons, science, into what skills they might need to be a veterinarian someday. Giving them little bits of what it might be to be a veterinarian and what they're doing today is going to help them to reach their goal, will really help develop their sense of purpose. Another way to develop a sense of purpose is through volunteer work. I know this is tricky right now, but perhaps your student could record themselves reading a book and share it with friends or family. Another thing with extra time in the house, perhaps you could have your students sort through clothes and toys and look for things that would be good to donate. I do know that a lot of places like Goodwill and the such are not actually actively accepting donations, but take the time to set things aside now so that they're ready to go when they're willing to accept those donations again. And the last idea to help build some sense of purpose in your student is to simply encourage them. Encourage your student to explore their strengths, to try new things, and remind them successes and failures are really the building blocks to tomorrow's brighter future. So these ideas and strategies are not an exhaustive list. I encourage you guys to share some of these strategies that you've already implemented with your children and students down in the comments so we can really create a learning community and share our knowledge and grow together. So if you enjoyed today's discussion, we have recorded all of our previous discussions. You can find them here on our Facebook page, and you can join us every morning at 9 and every afternoon at 3 for future wellness talks. Be sure to like and follow our social media channels, NH Student Wellness here on Facebook, NH Schools on Twitter. We have our YouTube page and also the resource website, nhlearnsremotely.com. And with that, I hope you all have a great afternoon.